Listening to his voice is better than good music, especially to fall asleep with it. The obvious is too little to accept. Gold is yellow and shit is yellow. I request all the viewers, all the readers, think beyond horror. Sheela should be a pillar of moral. I'm tough.
It's been so wonderful ever since you contacted me and you gave me this opportunity to set up this interview, because I personally have been a very big fan of Rajneesh since I have grown up listening to his records, Darshan, that series he released. And that's how I have grown up. My father used to set up those cassettes in the night, and that's how we used to sleep. And then, it's just been incredible.
Listening to his voice is better than good music,
It's very
especially to fall asleep with it.
And you have been so lucky to be so close to him and be a part of, the major Rajneesh that the world knows about.
I don't know how I got so lucky, but I recognize the luck I had.
Okay, ma'am. So as I spoke that this interview is going to be mostly about what you want to tell us rather than me asking you questions. So let me just give it a start by asking from where searching for Sheila ended with your dialogue that what happened was people's truth, but it was without feeling your truth. So what was your truth?
It is always so that what you can see, you tend to be blinded by it. What you should see, you're not able to see it. The obvious is too little to accept. Unless life is complicated, unless life is full of intrigue, people don't recognize it and people don't believe it. My simple truth is the way I am, the way you see me, the way the world sees me, and the way I feel. But the way world sees me is the way they see themselves. People have such obsession with negative, such obsession with distrust. People have become, in large numbers, cynical, but one has to rise above it to recognize what is in front of you. Gold is yellow and shit is yellow. And you have to choose.
So basically, what people chose to see was what was not the truth.
No, I don't say people saw it through their own eye window. So some had clear, beautiful view outside their eyes, and some had blocked views.
So, of course, no one is guilty for falling in love. You never were. You were just outspoken, out there. With everybody knew your passion, the passion and love you held for him. But love also gives you a lot of power. You created something that the world had never seen before, be it in terms of a culture or a movement, relationships, or very existence itself. So, beneath all that, was it just a love story that people were believing in?
People like me will see love story, People who have never experienced love in their life, they will be cynical about it. Again, it is a situation of where an individual stands. When you are climbing a mountain, you can be on one plateau or you can be on top of the mountain. Two different views. And some may just focus on how difficult it was to climb that mountain. And some will feel, oh, it was so wonderful that I climbed that mountain. I didn't know I was so strong. So I say, leave judgment behind. Try to recognize what you see and be truthful about yourself. What you see, is this your way of seeing? Or is it that you are simply not ready to listen or not ready to acknowledge what you see? I give you a simple example. Some people send me few reviews to look at the film reviews. Now, some people were offended that in the film, I only talk about Bhagwan. And they're offended that I never talked about my husband or my daughter. And why? Why must I talk about my husband or a daughter? They say, or they feel that I don't love enough them, that I don't speak about it. But there could be other reasons that I don't speak about it. Maybe my daughter doesn't want to be involved in this part of my life. Or maybe I am trying to protect my daughter from media terror. You understand, there could be many reasons. About husbands, they live their life, I live my life, and now I live alone. For almost 40 years, I live alone. And two of my husbands are dead. They have been dead at a very young age. One died at the age of 32, another died in 1993 or 94, 1993, I believe. They have gone so many years back. What do I have to say about it? When I say about it, you don't know who they are. Of course, Bhagwan, everybody knows, the whole world knows. And this part of my story relates to Bhagwan, not to my husband's. I speak about my mother, father, because the work that I do now is about my mother, father. They are my inspiration. But it is, people find something to complain. Something that must be wrong. And why must there be something wrong? Do you understand what I'm trying to explain?
Yes.
I request all the viewers, all the readers, in any field, think beyond horror. Sometimes monsters also have certain beauty. If you have made up your mind that somebody is a monster, so be it. Live with your belief, but learn to see beauty even in a monster.
That's the power of love that you sought.
Power of love, and love does not judge.
True. Love is like everything is fair in love and war. But do you think that everything is fair, even hurting the sentiments of people of who do not choose to believe in the faith that you advocated? I mean, I'm referring this to what happened in Oregon.
Who gets hurt? Referring to Oregon, have you thought of this bigoted politician, these bigoted farmers, how they tried to hurt Bhagwan and his community? And I'm part of that community. Why is it even a question? Most people have seen Wild Wild Country. They have seen the kind of discrimination, the kind of oppression they were for against the Rajneesh community. It is what is happening for hundreds of years to Black and brown people in America, even today. Are we going to condone it?
But I have been thinking, of course, people, they started it first. They were the ones who attacked the commune first. But the whole motive, the whole idea of this movement was to promote well-being, a nice, healthy living, lovable community. How were things changing inside between the sannyasins when everything was happening, and how were you holding up to it? Did you think that it's happening in the right way?
How am I holding up now against this double standard of journalism? Sheela should be a pillar of moral in spite of all the attacks on my person, on my character, on my being. In fact, to even come with a statement like that they started first, then further we don't need to discuss.
True.
Let's move on to another theme.
Sure. So at one point, you became more powerful than the man himself. The vision that you were propagating and taking forward, was it in sync with how Rajneesh saw it to be as, or at some point, did it also become your vision of the movement?
Bear in mind, I never became bigger than Bhagwan. That is, again, a judgment, again, an assumption. And this judgment and assumption is the result of Bhagwan saying some nasty things about me after I left. It's not worthy to answer.
You say that everything that you did was for love. He did not responded in the most loyal way to you. How did that also give strength to you to fight or to face the realities at that point of time?
He didn't support me after I left. While I was there and worked for him, we were a good team. And if he chose not to support me or throw me under the bus, which he many times did since I left him, before that he never said anything nasty or ugly about me. He had no problem of my work for 14 years that I lived with him. He was the one who chose me as a secretary. He was not blind. So when he chooses it, to throw me under the bus, how am I to say anything about his action? He did not ask me, should I do this, Sheila? This question you should ask him.
But as humans, when somebody we love who hurts us, isn't it just human to react, to get angry, or are we living in some different set of mind about love? Is it some different philosophy that we believe in, and maybe we are not able to reach the stage that you had actually achieved?
Normal reaction of an average person is reaction. And my is not reaction, because I have learned great deal from Bhagwan. Bhagwan teaches us to respond. Now, if I would have reacted, then Sheila is also bad because she reacts to Bhagwan. Now, when I respond, journalists find it not normal. That why is she responding? That's not normal. Is it not normal to react? Now I say to you, a journalist, tell me my answers, and then you ask me the question, how I should answer. And you are someone who has read much about Bhagwan, heard him many times. Tell me, has he not told about responding? Have you not heard him telling many times story of Gurdjieff, that Gurdjieff's father, when he was on his deathbed, he tells Gurdjieff, I have no inheritance except one advice to give you. And that is, in anger, don't react. Wait 24 hours before you say something, respond to it. This is my training. Why do I over and over again say to people, I am so grateful to Bhagwan. I have learned so many things from him. I agree, maybe he should have learned himself those things.
True. He also used to say that before I think he was the first one to bring this notion out that you have to love yourself completely so that you are able to love somebody else truly. So I'm sure you love yourself a lot, which is why you were able to love to that degree that we can't even achieve today, maybe. What is that you love about yourself?
Everything.
We love everything about you, how you respond, how you are the badass woman, the way you took on the world, the passionate of love that you had for him, everything. But what is that one thing that you really like about yourself?
The love I feel for Bhagwan, for my parents, for my family, my daughter, my husbands, and all the loving journalists like you.
Ma'am, also your parents were the ones who introduced you to Bhagwan Rajneesh, and you have always been very, very grateful to them for doing this. But what was their, their reaction when you were setting the Rajneeshpuram, you made it big, and also how things ended?
They have enjoyed my journey completely. They have been very proud of me. They have always felt that Bhagwan and Sheila is an unbreakable team. And they have proven themselves right.
I'm left speechless right now. Your ideas of life, love, everything is so simple. It just feels so easy when somebody is looking at you or reading about you or hearing you in an interview. You don't bring up agitation. I think that's just the perfect uh, teaching that Rajneesh wanted to spread across. You have to be very calm, very controlled, very poised. Is there anything you want to tell the women of today? We all are going, we are all confused. We are all going in different ways. We're not able to find answers. How to keep things in control as a strong woman?
Break away from stereotype.
That it's not easy.
I didn't say it is easy. Life is not easy, but you can make it easy for yourself. Be yourself. If you're a journalist, if you are a writer, if you are a musician, painter, let your being come out on it. Just because you want to sell your painting, don't compromise your art, your feelings. When music erupts in your heart, play it whether somebody's listening or not. Do it for yourself. You write a story that touches you and not what your editor wishes or politician who support your newspaper demand. I didn't say it is easy, but get into the habit of being close to your heart.
That's really overwhelming. Ma'am, what is there any moment that is, maybe, I'm sure there must be many, but is there any moment that is really deep inside you that you really feel, special about while you were building Rajneeshpuram? It was a huge project. It was commendable. I was sitting in complete awe looking at how things happened and the power that you drove it with. It was just, I can't even imagine that happening today in this world with technology. During that period when you were building this up, what were the special moments that are still very dear to you?
This special moment which was in front of me was Bhagwan's eyes, his dream, and I have nothing to worry. He saw the potential in me, and I did not doubt my potential. I went for it. If he trusts me to do this, I felt I can do it. And that's how it was.
So,
If you ask me today, when I look back, sometimes I talk to my siblings about it, I think I was mad. In madness, I did not see the enormity of the project. And we didn't create a project from a blueprint. It developed by itself. I was the management and Bhagwan's spokesperson. But there were hundreds, thousands of Bhagwan's other disciples who put in their effort too in it. So it was a collective effort.
I don't think the world will ever see an effort like that ever again, even though we have technology.
I would not say that is not possible. Yes, it is possible if people come out of their doubts. And efforts don't have to be huge like Rajneeshpuram, the projects. Projects can be small. I still live a very communal lifestyle, same as in Rajneeshpuram. Only difference is, instead of living with sannyasins, I live with disabled people.
Tell us more about Matrusaden.
Yes, pleasure. Matrusaden is an inspiration from my parents. When I came out of prison, I missed my parents immensely. And I started seeing old people, in them my parents. I was missing them very much. Just during that time, I saw a little blurb in a newspaper, small little column, that one can take old person or the disabled person in their own apartment or house and care for them. It was a legal situation. So immediately I checked up, and it was so. Next thing I did was I rented a house with 6 rooms, and I took first 3 patients in my house, 3 residents, and started living with them and taking care of them, which of course gave me stability after the prison to get back on my feet. And it was a simple concept that I had created, being there. I am there for you and you are there for me. This little concept can change the community lifestyle. And Bhagwan had always said that I live for future communal lifestyle.
I think whatever he taught us, the world, I think you are the one who's taking it in the right direction with the utmost passion. And as you said, we wish he would have also followed some of his teachings.
What I have learned from him, I definitely carried on my daily basis. I need not worship him. I need not meditate. I need not become enlightened. None of these things are for me. But by using his teachings on my everyday life, makes my life much more pleasant and gives me enough energy to move on.
Great. Ma'am, your biopic will be done most probably by Priyanka Chopra. Is there any advice you would like to give her to be the lead, to play you?
I don't know anything about it, except a few journalists recently were asking questions about it. I have no idea of her intention, what she plans to do or anything. I know only one biopic, that Shakun Batra is doing it, and who he chooses as playing part of Sheela, he will decide. It will be his part. He is the filmmaker. He knows what will suit his story.
But whosoever plays it, what would be that one piece of advice you would like to tell them to play you?
Be authentic. Don't be artificial. Be yourself.
That's going to be tough for them because you are definitely tough.
I'm tough, you're right. They will have to learn.